Okay, good morning. It is Thursday, April 12th, 2018, in the lunar cycle Sa'aki-sum, the 6th of 7 winter lunar cycles. And we are at the end of Sa'aki-sum, or coming very close to it, yet the traces of winter are still very much with us. The pond is entirely frozen over still, although it's starting to get weak. It's starting to get soft. You can see spots on the water where there have been openings, possibly beaver activity. Around the beaver lodge there's just a tiny little bit of open water, and there's actually a mallard duck hanging out over there. But those of you who've been following my videos the last few weeks, you know that this late ice is putting a lot of stress on the Canada geese. This is their nesting period, and they're basically not able to nest effectively in the freeze, and with the ice giving access to their nesting islands to predators. So today I brought with me a pair of waders. I'm gonna go out onto the big river island and see how the progress is out there. Probably there'd be some egg caches. I wouldn't doubt if predators have hit them up already, and possibly there might be an incubating goose. It's possible. It's very possible as far as the legitimate regular timing and nesting goes, but as far as this year is concerned, maybe not. It's oh, there goes the mallards. It's a mallard couple. It's good to see there's several goose couples on the wet meadows today. Sunday, you may recall, I was out here, and on the golf greens the geese were back in their their flocks. So they're coupled up again. They must sense the transition is going to be coming here really quick. And in fact, the last 2 days it's been relatively warm. It's been above zero most of the time. Today is a little bit more chilly, a little bit of light snow coming down here and there. But it's Thursday. I like to get out and monitor, so we're gonna see what we can learn. Just taking a little walk around the pond and then wading out to the river island. Magpies are busy rebuilding their nests this morning. It's the second magpie couple I've seen engaged in it. This is a nest that was used, I think, last year or the year before. So this is just a rebuild effort going on over here. Probably will be having eggs really soon. Don't know if they'll stick around for me to get closer to them. It's just in case. I'll show you what's going on out here on the wide south pool. You could probably hear the American widgeons. They're American widgeons, but they've been here a little bit. What I wanted to point out was this flock of shoveler ducks out here. Normally might get 2 or 3 shoveler couples at most stopping off here during the migration at any one time. I've never seen a kind of a flock this size stop off here. Not that this is terribly large, but it's more than usual, and I think that is because their access to the shallow prairie pothole waters that they prefer just isn't there this year as yet. So here at the Spopikimi at the Oxbow Pond, where the river does kind of feed a spring into the South Pool that's always open, this is one of their options. Actually kind of surprised we're not seeing any herons, or this time of year even ospreys should be coming in. These are fish only birds, eaters, so let's see. So I have been able to sneak up closer to these shovelers. I'm in the duck blind, so they can't see me. They might hear me. We'll see. But some cool stuff going on here. This guy is the American coot, Axixxi, the white nose. And this is the first coot of the season that I've seen return. I saw a shoveler in the river maybe a couple of weeks ago. So I've known they're around, but this is the first coot. And hopefully this year the coots will choose to nest here on the pond again. They haven't for a few years, ever since the city installed a kind of a viewing platform over some of the reeds in North Pond where they used to nest. But yeah, I got lots of cool ducks hanging out here. Mostly shovelers. Some mallards, obviously. Alright, well, I think I will sneak off before they see me and I mess up their morning. Oh, I know I'm freaking you right out. Look at all those quills, huh? You're ready to do some damage. Porcupine's pretty good. Just keep his back to me. See, so he's turning. Keep the danger end my way. Right next to a really big magpie nest. All right, I'll leave you alone. Here's something you might not expect. I've been seeing this the last couple of weeks. I haven't really documented it as such yet, but might as well show you what's happening out here. Way back here in the forest is a goose couple. And I think this is about the third or fourth time I've encountered them back here in the forest. So I'm pretty sure they're planning to use an oddball strategy and put their nests back here. They might even have some eggs cached already. We could go over that way and take a peek. they do, they'll probably show some sign of not wanting to move away from them. Usually the ganders especially will put up a bit of a fight, but a lot of times the mamas too. Mamas aren't pushovers in the geese world. Depends. They all kind of really got a individual personality to them, just like us. But there is general goose attitude. And we'll see what these guys give us. If they don't have eggs, they'll just fly away. Give you another look here before they do, in case they do fly away. Hear a flicker, northern flicker in the background. Also could hear American widgeon a second ago. Alright, let's keep moving closer their way. They might be using something like a stump or a log as an island. Or they could be eyeballing the hawk nest up there as something they're interested in. There's a bunch of deer down here. I don't think they've even noticed me yet. Whitetails grazing. And now these guys look like they're getting ready to fly away. They don't look like they're going to defend. You can see the goose up front has an egg in her. Look at her belly. Compare it to the male's belly. It could be she's out here just gonna lay an egg, and I am messing her up. They don't want to leave. Okay? And they were kind of standing up here on this little berm. See if they go back up. It looks like that's where he's leading her. I think I'll just kind of keep this distance and see if they become comfortable, and I'll just hang out and observe them for a few. I'll come back. Well, this gander definitely has a claim on this little berm of land, so I think there's an egg cache up there. Either that, or there's gonna be one here probably within the next 24 hours. But let's go have a look. This is not a good place to put a nest. I mean, as far as forest sites go, at least they can see, you know, a lot of the terrain around them is down a bit lower, so they can see predators coming. But you know, this is a pretty well established game trail passing through here, you know, right at the side of the nest, the chances of them going for incubating for 4 weeks and not being hit up by a predator, I would say, is really, really slim to impossible. So let's see if they've got anything established here. Yeah. This little kind of hollow here looks interesting. I don't know if they've hidden any. No, nothing's in there, but it does look like a good spot for a goose to put an egg when she's ready. And she's looking pretty ready. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. Quit interrupting them. And head over to the river island. So it looks like there's been a casualty in the forest main. Fairly young cottonwood tree has come down, and looks like there's been a lot of kind of rot going on inside the tree. And it's just turned to dust, really. I mean, there's definitely been poplar borer activity too. Poplar borer beetles. You can see there's one of their holes. So there has been borer beetles, but I don't think the borer beetles did all of this. I think that's some kind of rot going on. So one down doesn't mean it's gone. It depends on what's going on underground. You know, the cool thing about these cottonwood trees that I realized a couple of years back is that, you know, you never know how old they really are. Like this tree, this young, just looking at it, it looks like a young tree. But it may be ancient. It could be 1,000 years old, really. Because I think the real tree is what's underground, you know. I mean, that's the organism, the main organism is what's underground, that whole root system and such. And when like if the beavers knock over a really old cottonwood tree from the base, it just shoots up, you know, it just shoots up new trees out of that root. And starts again. It's like the phoenix. There's one in one of the parks here in Lethbridge that I used to take my students to, because it's a very, very old tree, and it finally died, fell over, but she's already growing again. So this could have been a young tree. It could be really sick and rotted into the real organism, or you know, who knows? It could be just the most ancient or most recent shoot off of an ancient organism. You never know. Yeah, when you look around the forest, if you really look, you'll notice a lot of the cottonwood trees grow in clumps. Like here's a clump of 3. Here's a clump of 5. It's a clump of at least 2. I don't know how many's in that clump. You know, what's going on there? You think each of those is a separate tree? Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're one root. One root and several stems. I don't even know what to call them, you know. When we think about tree, we think about the organism. But this is not really the organism. This is kind of like a big branch that can break away and the organism can continue. But yeah, when I look at the forest, you know, at the cottonwoods, I see this. Okay, I see these clumps that indicate that probably there was originally one tree that grew from one seed at that spot, and that tree, that, you know, the trunk of that tree eventually broke off or was gnawed off by beavers, and then more shoots came up, and now you got a clump of very mature trees, you know. And it just, I don't know how long it continues. I don't know how long the life cycle really is. River's pretty high today, actually, looking at it. I'm gonna see what it's like to wade out there, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it all the way to the island. Some years when we have the kind of the rapid melt off like this, it's pretty hard for me to get out there to the island without either swimming or using a raft. So I may end up having to do that this weekend, take the raft out there instead of walking across, but I'll see. I'll see if I can find areas shallow enough out here that I can just kind of wade through. Might be still shallow enough out there that I can wade through, come on to the tip. We'll find out. Check upstream, make sure I'm not going to get hit by icebergs as I enter into the flow. It's already up to my knees, and I'm barely off the shore. But I know there's a kind of a, you can see the gravel here, so that right there might have been the deepest part of this little bit. Uh-oh, there's some icebergs coming. That's kind of a big one. Risky business. All right. Now, unfortunately, I know that every other year that I've done this, that's the most shallow part. This stream here, this channel that goes through here, really digs the deepest. So, but again, this island stretches out, so there may be a shallowness kind of up this way that I can take some advantage of. A crossing. Whoop! I'm slipping in right there. Whoop! Let's go out a little bit further here before we. Whoa! Nope, that's pretty deep. Yeah, I don't want to go above the waist of the pants. Otherwise, I start getting drenched. I lose technologies like the iPhone in my pocket. yeah, just offshore. I'm already, here's my knee right here. And this is pretty fast moving water. Kind of a big stretch between here and there, and I just know this to be a deeper channel. So it's not gonna happen. But I tried, and I demonstrate knowing your limits. So rather than going there where I'm at least gonna lose my iPhone, and perhaps more. That's some cold water, you know. So yeah, that's as far as it. So that's about it for me with the geese today. Don't even know if I'm gonna be able to, or if I'm gonna bother getting out to the river island with the way that the waters are. You know, the river's just gonna get more flooded, I think. As we move into this next week, it's gonna warm up. I believe that the geese are sensing this, and from what I can see from the geese here on the pond and those on the big river island, is that they have broken back up into pairs again. They are now on the verge of laying eggs, if not already laying eggs, some of them. And I think they're safe at this point. I don't think we're gonna get the sub-zero temperatures again that we were having. So I think they can go ahead and get their process started. They are gonna be in danger of floods. They are 2 weeks late of a very, very predictable egg laying season. Like on Easter, yeah, there was one egg that I was able to find, but normally things would be moving into full swing then. So it's been almost 2 weeks, and now I think they sense that the weather is going to change and they are going to be able to go through with this. I think they are going to make it, a lot of them, especially the ones on the islands like the river island, because there's no way the coyote's going to be able to cross over there this year. It's going to be way too flooded. He's going to miss all those eggs. They're in danger from the crows, the magpies, the gulls. But as far as the coyotes and the raccoons and the weasels and all these land predators, they're perfectly safe. So I think they're going to do all right. I think they went back to their flocks. You know, they huddled in, they said, oh, well, I guess we were too early. Hung out together a little bit, and then they're like, oh, the weather's breaking. Because the last 2 days, like I said, it was a little bit warmer. And it's going to be warmer into the next week. So I think the conditions that were really against them are going away, and they're going to get started full tilt soon. So probably Sunday, I'll come out here with my students, with or without my students, and check the wet meadows and see what's going on as far as egg caching out there. I doubt that I'll bother with the river island. Might go out to might go check on the Henderson Lake Island, but we'll need the raft for that, no doubt. So we'll see what's going on with the geese. I'm just curious to see if if they have the same kind of numbers of offspring this year as they usually do. I'm curious to see whether they make it through the floods with the late timing. But some of them are going to survive. They always do.